my name is Wienke Giezeman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of the Things Industries, the company behind the Things Network. We help enterprises around the world building LoRaWAN networks. And we're responsible for the open global Things Network, now operating around 8,000 gateways in the world. And we have seen an abundance of very cool use cases and a lot of activity in the enterprise world with regards to LoRaWAN. So I thought, let's be a bit different. So I'm going to talk actually a bit about technology. And I wanted to highlight two hidden gems that you get for free when you adopt the LoRaWAN standard, and something that the LoRaWAN Alliance has been working on for 4 years. And then these are also two features that makes LoRaWAN very distinguishable from other technologies. So if you look at the story of Bill Gates, when Bill Gates started, he said, I'm going to ask myself one question every day before I start to work. And that question was, how are we going to make the personal computer dream true? Right? And I think enough people in this audience know the era, and that for long this was not the case. For long the PC world was a struggle. We have all heard the quote about the CEO of IBM saying that probably we only need 3 supercomputers, but he was like asking himself that question. And I think if we ask ourselves the question, like how can we make sure that we work every day on making the IoT dream become true? And I think that the LoRa Alliance and the LoRa members are getting really, really close, because if you look at the IoT dream, we always think, at least at the Things Network and the Things Industries, is that a big IoT dream is that connectivity is like water from the tap. Right? It's just there. Like, you don't think about it. Right? Maybe going 10 years back, if you look at the cloud dream, like that computer is just there. Like, I can reach it from anywhere in the world. Is this ubiquitous, abundant field? Like actually, it is at a point that you don't even need to think about it. And the second part of that IT dream is that devices can join anywhere. So it's always available anywhere where you want. So and if you look at LoRaWAN and the LoRaWAN standard, the good news is we've figured it out. Right? We have figured this out, how to do this, and how to, with a large group of companies, not only make a standard and something that is compliant and interoperable, but also something that is connected and is creating this complete ubiquitous connectivity dream. So there's 2 features that are in the LoRaWAN standard, and they have to do with that networks and gateways are able to interconnect, and from an application perspective, the connectivity is agnostic. So we created that in the LoRaWAN standard, and basically that means that everybody that runs a network and complies to the standard is able to interconnect their networks. And we saw this week. We had around 4 announcements about systems that even make it easier to interconnect networks. We saw that Actility announced a roaming up. We are presenting a packet broker, which makes interoperability more easy. Every networking is working on something. And we even have an external player, a company called Cineverse, that announced something today. So this is happening. And this is going to happen at the click of a button. This is not going to require contract, like lengthy business agreements. This is going to happen. So that's the one hidden gem that I think that deserves some highlighting. The other hidden gem is, so we want this ubiquitous network, and I want to buy a device at a supermarket, at an electronics distributor. I want to turn it on I want to scan the QR code, and it should work anywhere, right? And in the standard, this is also accommodated for. So what is possible that as an application provider, you can pre-register your device using your own keying system. You can expose that key management system to other networks in the world, and these networks then can accept your device, and it starts working. And the beauty of this is that all the data and all the security is generated end-to-end. And there we have this nice separation of concerns that as an application developer, you can take full control of this end-to-end encryption, yet the network operator layer is completely agnostic. So this is here, right? So this is a technology that is here. It's not only in the standard, it's also implemented, and it's also provided in services in a very easy to use way. So that makes, I mean, this is a very unique feature we have there. And it's all scalable, and the uniqueness about the LoRa Alliance, and that's the scalability of the LoRa Alliance, is that it's all open. So open standard, open spectrum, and the separation of concerns so that you can collaborate with multiple parties, and these responsibilities are already delegated in the architecture of what the LoRa Alliance have thought of. So just do it one step deeper on like how does this separation of concern works, and how does this provide this scalability? How does this actually look like? Oh, this is, I don't have a laser. Okay, so if you look at the separation of concerns, this is a typical LoRaWAN network server architecture, so the piece of software that's managing the complete network. This is the Things Industries picture, but it's following the reference design. And if you see here, there's the separation of concerns, and the most notable parts are, first of all, the network server that does the core, the decoding of the packages. The application server that is responsible for handling the application data, so the payload, and the joint server. And the beauty of this architecture that the interfaces between these components are put in the LoRaWAN standard and in the guidelines. And that means that building a LoRaWAN application gives you a lot of flexibility and a lot of moving room on how you want to do that and implement your application. And you're not completely tied to what either a service provider wants you to do. So just to give a few examples, you want to build an application, but you want to make sure that maybe for GDPR regulation that you keep the data in your country and that only encrypted data is streaming over other networks, right? That's one of the components of the GDPR. What you then can do is say, okay, I want to have a joint server on-premise. That's a component. I want to have an application server on-premise. And I'm going to connect, I want to use a network server of somebody that operates a wide range of gateways in a country. So I have these requirements, and the LoRaWAN specifications and the implementations, they allow you to implement that. So what you do, you run the joint server on-premise, means that you govern your own keys. You run the application server on-premise, that means you govern your own decryption, and you use the network of somebody else, because probably somebody else is better in keeping up the gateways as an operator competence. So there's many configurations possible, but the beauty of this is you have this very nice separation of concerns, and you can really cherry pick from all the members here present, okay, what do I want, and how can I fully give this requirement fit for my application. So let's hit that. So we just discussed this. So Recapping this is that my message is around that the true uniqueness of the LoRa Alliance is that we have an open standard, we have open interfaces, and it means that you can cherry pick, you can mix and match, and all these networks are starting to collaborate, all the interfaces are starting to converge, and this means that we will create a large ecosystem of interoperable and collaborative networks, chasing that big IoT dream where I started with, of ubiquitous connectivity and separations of concerns for both networks and applications. So I want to thank you very much for your attention, and up to the next speaker.